Oh, hello.
Hello.
I believe we're on. Cool. Hello, welcome everybody to another edition of Mackmyra's midweek whiskey gig. I am Carl, as always, and today I'm on with Lawrence Woodrow-Smith. You want to say a little bit hello, mate? And,
Hi guys, how's it going?
Second time around for you.
I know, yeah, you had me back. I obviously didn't do too badly.
Starting to feel a bit more normal now, hopefully, at least.
Just about.
Yeah. So welcome to another midweek whiskey gig. The show where we basically talk to you about different products across the Mackmyra range. We've got loads of these shows on the channel already. So if you haven't already, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click that bell to get notified when we're going live. You'll get a little notification up on your smartphone or tablet. We're on every Wednesday. We've got shows on the Friday. We've also got our Sunday sessions as well. So plenty of content on the site. If you are watching along with us live, please feel free to drop a comment or any questions down below. We'll endeavour to answer them best we can on the fly with our knowledge. Hello, Mickey. Good evening, mate. And yeah, so today we're going to be talking about 3 different bottlings we've got in our range. So we've got a couple of seasonal whiskies we're going to talk to you about, and also one of our gins, our created gin. And Lawrence is going to be talking to us a little bit more about that one. If you are in the purchasing spirits, we've got an offer on this week as well. In the theme of our seasonals, we've got a pack. You can save 124 quid on our 6 of our seasonal bottlings. So it's a total cost of £240, which works out to about £40 each bottle, which for our seasonal range is incredible value. So great if you're looking to pick up an interesting present for Father's Day. It's just coming around the corner and you want to treat him. Got 6 fantastic whiskies in there, all part of our experimental seasonal range. So loads of variety in terms of casking and tasting experience. So lots and lots to do to explore with that different range there. And this is essentially a great example of our creativity, our diversity as a distillery. We're relatively young. For those of you familiar with Mackmyra, we're only about 20 years old. And being a young new distillery, it allows us to be more a bit more progressive, a bit more experimental with what we do in terms of our whiskey making styles and how we can experiment with different caskings. And you'll see a bit more of that in the show today. But we've always got a focus on premium quality ingredients, dedication to the craft, and yeah, so our focus is creating something really interesting. I'll talk to you a bit about, like I say, a couple of the seasonal whiskies in a little bit. Lawrence, my man now, is going to talk to us a little bit about our created gin. Lawrence, take it away, 100%.
So the distillery at Mackmyra Brook was opened with handmade stills in 1999 before installing pot stills in 2002. It's a full-scale pot distillery. That's where Mackmyra, we made our single malt whiskey right up until 2012, when the ultra-modern, environmentally friendly Gravity distillery opened and production was moved over there. In 2017, our original distillery, we brought it back to life under the name of Lab Distillery by Mackmyra, with the intention that it be used for innovative, boundary-pushing, category-redefining spirits with the help of skilled craft distillers. So we teamed up with the legendary Rick Alden. Now, he actually started his distilling career many moons ago as a 15-year-old still attending school. Yeah, exactly. 15, getting your hands on a still, start making whiskey. It's great. Not even allowed to drink, and you're still making some world-class whiskey. It's great. Yeah. He took a little time out from his promising career to finish his university studies, including a couple of years as an exchange student in Japan. But thankfully, he's finally returned to where it all began to team up with us again. The first thing that we chose to make together was the created gin. Now, unsurprisingly for us, we chose to try and design it to be the most Swedish gin we could possibly make, with carefully chosen all organic ingredients. Now, we've used these super traditional dessert-inspired botanicals like lingonberry, elderberry, and raspberry, mixed those with the dry spice of pink pepper and ginger, and the bright citrus notes of lime and Seville oranges, with some warm vanilla and obviously this beautiful pine-like resinous juniper, which all perfectly mix together and give you the impression of walking through a winter forest. That's delicious stuff. Have you got some there to taste?
Yeah. I have. Are you doing a little pour?
Yeah. Oh, I've got one already sorted out.
Oh, you crack on, mate. I was waiting for you to before I got you crack on, man. I'll take care of myself in the background. Don't you worry.
Right up front, you get this beautiful elderberry sweetness. In the middle, you get that really bright citrus, which balances it all out. You get that dry spice at the end, but it finishes on that really warm vanilla. It's beautiful. It's like the really nice toasted sort of notes. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'll make a confession about I'm not a massive gin fan. Overall, broadly, all the other different gins I've sort of tried in the past, I've not really got on with. I've kind of had a sort of like quite a really drying kind of bitter note on the back end for me that I've really enjoyed personally. And I know it's going to sound contrived because I'm talking about Mackmyra, but genuinely, when I tried the Kreatör Gin for the first time, actually the other day, that wasn't there for me. It feels like something that if you were sort of maybe newer into gin and you didn't want to try sort of all the kind of syrupy, sugary flavored gins, you know, it's something that's still quite accessible. It has more of that kind of authentic gin taste, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's beautifully smooth as well, isn't it? So it's neat at 47.3% and room temperature. It's still super easy to drink.
47 as well.
Yeah, exactly. Throw it back in the most responsible manner
way.
possible. Now, I've made a little cocktail for you guys with this. It's delicious, obviously. Now, when I tasted the gin neat, I knew exactly what, and I knew I had to make a cocktail with it. My mind jumped straight to one place. Now, I took inspiration from a classic cocktail called the Charlie Chaplin. Nice. Now, this is traditionally made out of equal parts sloe gin, apricot brandy, and lime juice. For mine, I've used 45 ml of Kreatör Gin, 15 ml of lemon juice, 12.5 ml of creme de framboise, so like a raspberry liqueur, and then 2 dashes of peach bitters. Give this all a nice little shake, and I've served it straight up. Now, this cocktail, it should really bring together. Oh, there you go. Specs just down there. Yeah, so this should really bring together all those beautiful jammy notes with that lime just balancing it out. But the finish is going to be that warm vanilla mixed with those peach bitters. So it's almost going to give you like a baked pie sort of aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's a nice little number. Given that. So that photo is our next cocktail. So that's our Grönt Te cocktail that's going to be coming up in a little minute. But don't you worry about that.
There we go.
There you go. That's our Kreatör one. Now, given that the Charlie Chaplin, the cocktail that I took inspiration from, is named after a legendary man, I thought that it would be best to name our cocktail after our local legends. So yeah, this cocktail's been named the Rickard Alden.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. And
Nice.
to follow this, I've also made a little perfect serve gin and tonic. So I've got one of these here. So this has been made with our very own Kreatör tonic. So Rick teamed up with the guys at Swedish Tonic to try and make a specific organic tonic water to pair with our gin. So what I've done with this is I've garnished it with some raspberries. So they're again going to bring out that sweet red berry notes within it. A lemon slice to give you that clean lemon smell on the nose, and it's going to add to the tartness of those berries. And then finally, a nice big rosemary sprig, and that's just going to really complement that deep pine-like resinous juniper that I've already mentioned. It's good.
Nice. I haven't got one of them on me.
Yeah.
I wish I did. So I've got a question from Connor. So do you think that gins made at Mackmyra are ready to rival the well-known fruity organic gins, I presume, as opposed to guns? What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Lawrence?
Yeah, 100%. I say we both tasted it for the first time, 2 or 3 days ago, and I was blown away by how good it is. I ran a gin bar for 2.5 years. I had 128 gins in my back bar, and had the Kreatör been brought to me, I'd have in a heartbeat put it straight on that back bar. Honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah. So there you go. To be fair, you're probably more qualified then than me in that respect. But yeah, I would agree. My gut tells me I'd agree with that, definitely. As something that sort of could stand up to it. So yeah, thanks for that one, man. We've got a couple to sort of go on there. We should say as well, like with all the cocktails and serves that you're going to be showing us tonight as well. Don't worry about trying to frantically scribble them down if you're looking to make them at home. This video will be back on our YouTube channel after the broadcast, usually about half hour or so. So yeah, just feel free to go back, drop a pause on there. You can get all the text from the bottom in there, and you can replay the part where Lawrence takes you through it if you need any help sort of putting it all together. So thanks, Mum. So
no worries.
Moving on to our seasonal expressions. So our seasonal whiskies started in the winter of 2013, and they've been really, really popular. You could argue are almost experimental expressions in our range, so it allows us to be the most creative. And we've had two different expressions running every year ever since. We have one that runs in sort of autumn, winter time, and then one for spring, summer. Something that's quite key is we want to try and reflect and recreate nods to that particular time of year. And that's sort of kind of prevalent in the two I'm going to be talking to you about now. In-house, we try and name them. There's a bit of a sort of contest, a bit of rivalry. One of the things I was looking at the other day was that it's quite fiercely contested in the office, like who gets to name the bottlings. So apparently, if you're sort of walking by the offices in Yeovil, it's around sort of seasonal time. There's quite a fierce contest going on of who gets to name the bottling. So first one I'm going to talk to you about today is the Vintersol, and that literally translates to winter sun. So given the latitude of sort of where Sweden sits and where the distillery sits up in Yeovil, when it is winter, you don't get much in the way of sunshine coming through for us. So we wanted to try and recreate a whiskey that gave you that kind of warming, sun-soaked feeling when it wasn't really that much sun around to kind of give you that vibe. As a result, our Vintersol is a collaboration with Quinta da Vaiado. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that particularly correctly. So Quinta da Vaiado are one of the most well-renowned and probably one of the largest estates for port makers. So this is a port-influenced whiskey. And this is our autumn 2019 release. So we're trying to give that recreation of sort of sun-soaked grapes, that kind of warming, that kind of ripe, dried fruits, red berries, all those kind of rich, warming flavors coming through. In terms of what this bottling is, in terms of ABV, as with most of the Mackmyra releases, we're at 46.1%, so quite a healthy hit in there in terms of alcohol by volume. Bottled 70 cl. Something I noticed as well earlier on today when I was doing a little test pour, Lawrence, is that, again, if you've drank any sort of port cask whiskies, you can tend to see there's a slight pink kind of hue to the liquid as well. So if you hold it to the light, you will get that sort of little pink hue kind of coming through in there. And I tend to find that when you've got sort of like red wine casks or port casks or potentially a really red, a red casking, that will kind of give its influence onto the actual whiskey itself. In terms of casking, there's a lot going on in terms of how we cast this one. Because remember, we're going for flavor profile as opposed to sort of particular, we must use X, Y, Z castings. So we've got first fill export wine casks in there, new and first fill American oak, first fill ex bourbon, and then a little bit of Oloroso and Swedish oak in there as well. You've got to get Swedish oak in. That's one of the key things for us. On the nose, spicy, herbal, grapes on the vine, soft vanilla, raisin. On the palate, that's where the fruit kind of kicks in for me. You've got a little bit of spice as well, not too much, but there's a delicate touch of spice there. Pears, raisins, ginger, vanilla.
Mince pies. That's what I always get from it.
Yeah. So again, that kind of deep, rich, sweet flavor. Mince pie, sort of that kind of Christmas pudding, that kind of flavor will come through. Potentially the combination of the Oloroso and the port cask coming through to give you that rich sweetness. And then the finish, fruity, spicy, oaky, raisiny.
Nice. Good stuff.
It is a good one. Really, really popular, this one as well. What's your general thoughts on this one, Lawrence? What's your takeaways for this one?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's that gingery, spicy finish that makes it delicious. I've had a couple of whiskies that have been either like pork finished or like the PX sherry finished or whatever, and it's just sweetness, whole way through, and it never really drops off to anything else, and that sweetness becomes it can almost become a bit too cloying. You have like one of them, but you wouldn't want to drink it all night. But yeah, where this has got that dry spice and that ginger at the end of it, it stops it from being overly sweet or like stick, like you can't feel it sticking to your teeth. So yeah, it's you want to just keep going back to it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and again, that kind of, I get the vibe of where we're coming from when Angela created this, like the feeling of like, I want to have a summery kind of vibe to it. We know we're going to be drinking it as we're going into winter, so I want to give that kind of warmth, that feeling of warmth back in there as well. So again, with the view on guessing kind of experimentation and sort of trying to find different pairings or serves that kind of work, I'm taking over doing the food pairings this week. And one of the things I thought would go quite nicely with the Vintersol will be a nice little bit of Bressuala, so cured beef. And I know you're not going to partake in this one with me, Lawrence.
I'm not, unfortunately.
That's fine. But you've got a little alternative as well. But yeah, the reason I chose this and I thought it would be a good pairing is because it's got that lovely kind of slightly subtle but sort of delicate, creamy kind of texture to it. So it's something that will complement it quite nicely. Forgive me for speaking with my mouth full. I couldn't wait any longer. I apologise. But yeah, you still got that kind of fruity spiciness coming in. The way the two marry together makes a great kind of, I guess you could go pre-dinner, post-dinner, however you want to eat it. But that for me, I thought was a really nice little pairing. For those of us who aren't meat eaters, Lawrence, you got an idea what you're going to do with this one as well?
Yeah, so like, I'm actually a vegan, that's why I couldn't partake in this. So I've come with some nice herbivore pairings.
Cool.
So mine, I've got a delicious. Just about to say that it matched my top. It's a smoked pickled beetroot relish. So yeah, it's. I'm going to do it now.
That's fine. No, go for it, mate.
So that smoke works really well with the sweetness that we talked about loads of times. Then you've got that beautiful earthen taste from the beetroot, and it all just marries up and complements perfectly. So it's really nice.
Nice. So you've got. Go on.
So that as a little pre-dinner starter aperitif thing would be a great little pairing. Yeah.
So I think we've got both kind of options covered there, both complementary. But I think with the slight smoke side, it's something sort of slightly a little bit contrasted, but works well through and gives you a nice range of flavor. Yeah, nice, man.
Yeah, it's that mixture of almost like salt and sweet, like two completely opposite things that just bring out the best of each other.
Shouldn't necessarily work, but do work fantastically. Yeah, no, I feel
exactly.
So you being the cocktail man, what have you got for us? Have you got a little cocktail suggestion for Vintersol for us?
Yeah, 100%. So what I put together is just a classic sweet Manhattan variation to really bring out those deep, rich port notes. So I went for a nice big old 45 ml of the whiskey.
Nice.
25 ml of sweet vermouth, and then 2 dashes of Abbott's bitters.
Nice.
Stirred it down over some ice, and served it up. Garnished it with an orange twist and a maraschino cherry. Now the vermouth that I used specifically was Lustau. Now this is a sweet vermouth that's made in Jerez. And the reason I chose to use this is that it's the only sweet vermouth on the planet that's made out of a PX sherry. So it's got those super indulgent, really rich raisin-like qualities that just bring out and bolster the port influence that's been had on the whiskey already. So it's a beautiful, really nice, chewy little number. The sort of thing you could drink in a nice leather armchair like yours with a cigar. So, but I need to get myself one of them. That'd be a great little pairing.
Yeah, 100%. So is it something that's a little more, you'd say, sort of a little more indulgent in terms of like?
100%. It's an after. It's not a sessioning cocktail. It's an after dinner drink for sure. Now the cocktail I've decided to name this Vila Nova de Gaia. So obviously Manhattan is a district. Yeah, we'll go with district of New York. And Vila Nova de Gaia is the place in Portugal where all of the port aging houses are. So it made sense to name it after that. Little tip of the hat to the port influence on the whiskey.
So sounds classy as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Like I can imagine strolling into like a nice fancy bar, little speakeasy, like kind of a Vila Nova de Gaia, please. I'm like, you're a man of taste.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about.
Yes. Nice one, man. So that's good as well. Like I like bitters pretty much in kind of any format, and I'm all on board for it. Just seeing a little quick question from Connor there in the comments. So you said there are only 2 expressions that have been running since 2013. What is the other? So just to clarify, our seasonal range started in winter 2013 and has been running every year since. So we've done 2 expressions every year since. One for sort of autumn winter, one for spring summer. You can check out all of those on our website, mackmyra.co.uk. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we've got a offer on a seasonal pack, which is six of the seasonal expressions available in the range. So yeah, you can, if you want to sort of get the back catalogue, that's probably, to be fair, now is probably the best way to do it. Like all 6 of them together. Don't ask me exactly what, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of sweet spot of just under £50 for a bottle of whiskey, especially when you're talking about limited edition, limited run whiskies as well. Do you know what I mean? You'd expect sort of certain core whiskies to be in that kind of price bracket. So it's a great chance to get sold of something that's limited. So yeah, just hopefully I've clarified that up for you there, Connor. 2 every year, and hopefully long may it continue. I don't know exactly what's coming up yet for this autumn winter, but it's more of a stay tuned situation. So yeah, what's the most popular expression? I actually don't know that one. Do you know, Lawrence? Do you know what sort of maybe one of our?
I mean, I know what my favourite one I've tried is, but I don't know which is the most popular. I mean, I know what my favourite is, but did you ever try the Glühwein one?
No, I haven't tried that one. No.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, so it was amazing. Yes. So again, it's those really deep, chewy notes. That's what I go for. The sort of thing you want to drink at 11 at night on your own, just
with a fire in the corner and that feeling moody music. Tom Waits in the
moodily in the dark. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's my kind of vibe.
Yeah, no, I haven't particularly tried that one, but there's a few that I have tried, and this is going to seem like a real planned segue, but genuinely for me, the one we've got coming up is my favorite so far. It's just on that kind of mouthfeel, that kind of texture. So the next one we're going to get to talk to you about is called the Grönt Te, and that translates to green tea. And we've talked about this one at sort of few of the trade shows I've kind of been to with Mackmyra. And it's always that kind of, you get that kind of standoffish look when you say, green tea. This is a bit of what? You're experimenting with green tea? It's like, yeah, absolutely. Again, this is part of the reason for this range is that we can experiment and try different kind of things and different kind of expressions. So the reason why we've gone for green tea, one of our master blender, Angela Dorazio, 2 of her key passions are travel and culture and bringing innovative flavor combinations to life. She's a massive fan of Japan and Japanese culture as well. So, and the idea was to try and find a way where she could integrate that passion into a fantastic limited edition whiskey. So what she did and what we did was work with a lady called Yuko Ono, and she's from a family of Japanese tea growers. She created a company that was focused on introducing Japanese teas to Nordic countries. So the through line, I guess, of passion for craft, for origin, and creating something that's unique, but sort of with a real focus on quality ingredients. It made perfect sense to kind of marry up the 2 ethoses of the 2 companies together. If you do get a chance on mackmyra.co.uk, there's actually a link to a little one-to-one between Angela and Yuko, where they try each other's respective sort of green tea, different green tea ranges, and bless her, Yuko tries the Grönt Te, and I think it's a little bit strong for her at first, but she definitely gets used to it, and she can sort of pull out the notes that have influenced it. So it's a really nice little watch, that one. So this has spent some time in newly saturated ex Oloroso casks. What we've done to kind of infuse the green tea flavors, because I guess as you know, solids wouldn't kind of sort of marry too well with solids. So we've used new fill Oloroso wine and then the green tea leaves in together to kind of sort of create a seasoning almost for the cask. And there's 4 different types of green tea that have gone into this particular bottling. So we've got the Yame Sencha, which is a rich, soft, sweet tea, sweet green tea. Got Yame Gyokuro, which is elegant, complex, sort of got sweet and umami flavors to it. Karobi Hojicha, sorry, forgive my Japanese, which is nutty, round, and delicate. And then they've got the Yame Matcha Shinobi, which is a rich green tea that's usually used in cooking and baking. So kind of almost sort of bind it together and give you kind of earthen notes in there, give you a bit of a punch, a flavour. So the broad overall flavour profile for this, I guess you could describe it as sort of subtle spice that gives way to kind of fruity and floral. Is I guess how I describe it. Have you got some with you there, Lawrence?
I've got one pre-poured.
You got one ready? Yeah. Did you have that pre-poured, or you just sort of sneakily did it when I wasn't looking?
Oh, mate, I'm all over this. Yeah, I've got 3 glasses lined out at the beginning.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to get on and get a few more like Mackmyra indoors glasses, so I can have like my drinks all ready and lined up for me. Oh, do you know what? It's not a bad crack, this, is it? Sort of talking about whiskey and drinking whiskey as we go.
It's worse ways to earn a living.
Yeah. So spicy, floral, red berries. And then curiously at the back, you've got a bit of that white pepper and vanilla. Bang. On the palate, fruity floral, fine vanilla comes through, herbal notes start to creep in. And I think, again, that's where the green tea will be given its influence. Green apple, so kind of fresh, slight tartness, light spice. And then it finishes spicy, fruity. Yeah, more green tea. A little bit of vanilla right at the end. So this one for me it's an interesting one because it's quite subtle but complex at the same time. It's different to the Vintersol, 2 very contrasting whiskies in as much as you've got one that sort of leans, I think, more on the sort of fruit side, and then you've got this across the Mackmyra range. I think is probably more an expression of kind of what herbal floral, that kind of profile. So possibly if you're into like maybe your Highland Scotches. That kind of sort of flavour profile is what you're getting sort of closer to. What was your thoughts? Sorry, Lawrence, mate. What's your general takeaway?
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. So, like on the nose, I get loads of like jasmine, like that sort of white flower sort of taste. Like in the mid palate, it's like you said, like green apples. I get loads of melon, like sort of like what do you call it? I've forgotten the name in English. Honeydew. Yeah, honeydew melon. The finish, I get a bit of sort of a minerality, a sort of saline like finish.
Okay.
A sort of like a honey and salt sort of finish on the back of it, which again just makes it that bit more moreish. You know, when something's salty, you just want to keep going back to it.
Yeah, yes. It's not like an overly sweetness. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting into the whiskey there. So going into food pairing for this one. So I wanted to do something that was going to sort of highlight, I guess, kind of the fruity floral side of things. So I did try a couple of things actually. I've got a little bit of rose jam, and I tried a little bit of rose jam that sort of gave me again, it had a bit of sweetness in there as well. Obviously, being rose jam, you've got the kind of floral notes coming through. But on a sort of piece of lightly toasted bread or something like that would potentially work as a pairing. What I've got to try alongside me here is a little bit of a classic, and this one is vegan friendly as well, Lawrence. Is a little bit of Turkish delight. It's fine, man. I'll chuck it. Really
I love Turkish delight as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, floral, little bit sweet, lovely mouthfeeling texture. Something for me that stuck out for the Grönt Te was the well, really, sorry, really sticky. Was a kind of mouthfeel on Grönt Te. I think that's something that sort of really complements really nicely. Again, fruity floral notes, herbaceous, slightly oily. Thank you, Torvald. Appreciate it. We're having a good time here. Hope you're enjoying it too. But yeah, Turkish delight. That's my pairing. What's your pairing you got for us, Lawrence, mate?
Literally the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay.
So I've gone for some garlic. There's one. Some garlic and lemon marinated olives. So yeah, the saltiness of these brings out that minerality I said that I had on the finish. The lemon again brings out those like really nice high green notes that we've both picked up on it.
Yeah.
And then the oiliness just perfectly complements, because like you said, the mouthfeel of this is incredible. So yeah, the oiliness of the olives mixed with the mouthful of the whiskey is just a beautiful like match made in heaven.
Mate. See, you were saying you guys again. Like, I love olives. Like,
we both picked the wrong ones.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's compare and contrast. Like, I've given you something you can go out and get the Turkish delight. I can get hold of that and the olives.
Yeah. Connor, give it a try.
Yeah, 100% try. And that's the thing as well. So don't take whatever we're saying on this broadcast or anyone says on any broadcast, for example, as gospel. Whiskey is there to be enjoyed the way you want to enjoy it and experiment. The only way you find these pairings is by experimenting, try different things. You might find some things work really well, some things might not. But as long as you're experimenting, you may stumble across something that's a surprising pairing. So yeah, and I believe for
as long as you're drinking good whiskey, it's not going to be. Well, I was saying, as long as you're drinking good whiskey, it's not going to go too bad, is it? So
exactly.
You're right.
Yeah. All that sack off the food and just drink the great whiskey.
They are winning.
You've got a cocktail pairing for us as well for the Grönt Te.
Yeah, I have, mate. Yes, I've got this little badger just here. Much like Angela, I blended all things whiskey and Japanese together. So this is a delicious green tea highball. So a big old 60 ml measure of the whiskey, 40 mils of green tea, 5 ml of a sugar syrup, and a little splash of soda water. Now I've garnished this with a cucumber ribbon and a couple slices of lemon. Now you could make the green tea like the traditional way, hot water over a tea bag, thing like that. But what I'd actually recommend doing is having that little extra bit of patience and cold brewing it. So just like 3 tea bags in 500 ml of water, bang it in a jar, bang it in your fridge overnight, and come back to it. What this does, it completely it stops the tea getting that tannic quality that it does from a hot brew. So it stops it from having that dry mouth, furry tongue sort of effect, and just leaves you those really nice light green flavors. That little bit of sugar syrup that I've added, that 5 ml of sugar syrup, it's not actually going to really alter the flavor too much. It's a super subtle amount. What it's going to do is just round out the edges and again make this drink super easy to drink. Really nice chill drink. And then the slight effervescence from the soda water, those subtle little bubbles are just going to lift the entire thing off your palate, again making it super clean and stopping it from ever being too cloying. Nice. And then this cucumber ribbon that I've wrapped around the glass, you can just see in the picture there. It's going to bring out and really complement those melon-like qualities that I mentioned that I get in the mid palate. So yeah, hopefully everyone will be able to enjoy this. This is the perfect drink to drink in the middle of the day in the sun for some lunchtime drinking.
I was going to say, if we get the sunshine back, that to me sounds like a great one to enjoy out in the sunshine. Maybe if you've got sort of something, some fish or some chicken on the barbecue, something like that.
100%. It's the sort of drink as well. So it's really easy to make. Just do a picture of. If once all these restrictions are over, if you're having a nice little barbecue to celebrate, a picture of this would be nice and easy. Who needs Pimm's when you can have a picture of green tea and green tea whiskey? Yeah,
something different. The experiment, like I say, try something different, try something experimental. Definitely something as well. You get your guests. Your guests will be sort of curious about. If they've not heard about Mackmyra before. I've got a Swedish whiskey cocktail for you. That's something that's going to be different. It's going to be innovative. So nice,
100%.
Some really nice sort of cocktail suggestions. And again, just to stress that if you missed any of that information on those cocktails, this video will be live on a YouTube channel in about half hour's time as well. To go back, and if you need to pause it or check any different points for anything we've said across today's show, feel free to do that and get all the details from there. So that's a little whistle stop tour through two of our seasonal expressions and one of our gins. I hope you had a great time with us today. As I mentioned at the start, please make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. We've got videos coming up every week. We've got the guys down south who are on the Fridays. We've got our Sunday sessions as well. So plenty of content on the site for you. And remember, we have got an offer on 6 different bottles of our seasonal whiskey that's available at the moment. So 240 quid for 6 different bottles. If you're really treating Dad for Father's Day, get him 6 whiskeys. Like that for me, as a whiskey drinker, if I had 6 whiskeys land on my doorstep, do you know what I mean? That's straight to the top of the Christmas list. I'm thinking of you. So yeah, loads of different.
Get him 1 and keep 5 for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can do it that way. but yeah, definitely get on it. I think that's it. So we've taken you through a couple of whiskeys and a gin. Told you about our seasonals. You've got some cocktails to go on with. Nothing more to say, but thank you for joining us. Some food pairings as well. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. I've been Carl. Lawrence, thank you for joining us again, mate. Take care, everybody.
No worries.
See you soon.
See you later, guys.